Sweet. Let me introduce, thank you for coming. Let me introduce the people here. We have, right next to me, Stu Stone, who plays Sebastian in the film, and we're very lucky to have had Stu in this movie. He has starred in such things as Donnie Darko, and he just directed 2 horror films himself in Canada, our northern neighbor. And then next to him we have, as I mentioned, Nicole Shipley, who's been doing such things as Guardians of the Galaxy, a small film some of you might have heard of. And next to Nicole we have Max Perlich, award-winning thespian, who was in everything from Beautiful Girls to Blow to Cliffhanger to now Tar. And then finally, we have our newest addition to the cast, Cinta Laura, who is Cinta Laura Keel. She goes by many names because she's many talents. She is a multi-platinum pop star. And she's the only one on the panel who can say that. And yeah, I'm a multi-platinum not pop star. So that's everyone, and I'm going to hand it over. The guy to my left, Stu, also is an award-winning podcaster. You call that?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, podcaster. He really started the podcast genre and has done over 500 episodes of his podcast, and he will be moderating, leading
keeping everybody here calm.
Keeping everyone calm.
Crazy in here. Do you guys want to make some noise? Clap. Maybe people who are watching, they know that we're talking to a room with thousands of people in it. And I want you to know, how exciting this is. Obviously, for Aaron, this is his baby. It's very difficult to get a movie made, or else everybody would do it, right? And to have the idea and to actually have follow through and execute on the idea, that's the hard part. A lot of people have ideas, but not a lot of people actually get it done. And here you are with your film at this Comic-Con, and you must be pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a neat thing. We came up with this idea, me and Tim Nuttall, the co-writer, we came up with this idea, and within 2 months, making a film is very hard, and within 2 months from idea to the start of shooting, that was it. So we got everything together, raised the money. It was really fast.
So what is the idea? For people that just walked in, or people just tuning in live on the web, what is Tar?
Tar is, as you guys know, a lot of you are either from LA or are in LA right now. Obviously, you see there's a lot of construction going on, right? So the problem is that everyone is building down and disrupting a prehistoric creature who lives underneath the tar. So man, when it goes down and disrupts this creature, it comes up and attacks. It attacks the city, it attacks construction workers, and most specifically it attacks a family. The patriarch, the grandfather is played by Max. Then the father is played by an actor named Timothy Bottoms, another Oscar nominee, so it's so lucky that we got these people. And then I play the son. So it comes out and attacks our family on the last night where we're about to move and close down our family business.
So conceivably in Los Angeles, I mean, you're more of a history buff, but could there be monsters living in the tar under us right now?
Well, I mean, is it a Jewish family that they went after?
Yes.
The tar went after? Because there's a lot of monsters out there, and they had, they think there's this Illuminati, which is Jewish Illuminati, but I really think it's just people that are attached to the World Bank. I think that most monsters go after the World Bank in general, so I don't think it has to do with Jews in particular. The family happened to be Jewish, but I just wouldn't attach myself to that ideal. But there's a lot of, the tar is very sticky subject.
I love the La Brea tar pits. Like, you go there and you see the mammoths crying and they're stuck in that area. And the tar, except for me when I first moved to LA, I thought that was so cool. And when I got the opportunity to audition for you guys, I love that you took this really cool part of our history, our natural history in Los Angeles, and you're creating like a monster out of it. Like, LA doesn't have its own monster. You know what I mean? And I love that you're giving that to us.
Yeah, Nicole, when you say that, it's interesting because everyone, I feel now, is recycling idea after idea after idea. And even looking around down there, as much as it's awesome that there's all these cool properties, to me, the ones that stick out are the ones that are new, that are different.
Yeah, I saw like 40 different Harry Potters just
Yeah.
walking up here. It's not
Don't
like-
hate on Harry Potter.
But do we, isn't it, I mean, don't you guys want new ideas, new things, new concepts, new characters? So that's what we were going for, is to make something new, something different, and something LA.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Watching the trailer, I just remember the guy. We had like a 6-foot-tall Emmy wrestler who played.
Which
I
we
don't know
don't,
what
which
he
we
was.
don't know about yet.
Sorry, but oh god, it was like I'm getting traumatized from seeing the trailer because it was so scary being on set and like sticky and everything.
We didn't have any examples when I was doing it. They just said, just picture a lot of tar that has a knife.
My last day on set, I was sent away with a beautiful gift. I was like covered in it.
Yeah, that was a lot of people give rap gifts, in the studios. Warner Brothers, Paramount, they give rap gifts, like a watch or a necklace or even a DVD. We just gave them tar.
It's here actually right here.
Yeah.
This is what we gave away, tar.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another cool thing is so this idea, in 2 months, we came up with it, we got it, we put it together. Max has read into more deep aspects of it that we did not come up with at the time about Illuminati or whatever, but that's not part of really the movie. It was just this idea of tar coming, attacking the city, and the fact that now we have comic books coming out with Action Lab, which is, it's like mind-blowing to me. We went from an idea that in 2 months we got to happen to now having comic books, merchandise, like all this cool stuff this world is creating.
When I was a kid, I like Nicole, went to the liberated tar pits. This is probably in the late 70s. And they had people down in these holes that were excavating bones, and you would look and you sit there for 5 minutes with your dad, and you'd be like, let's get out of here, come on, we're gonna go inside, I gotta pay. We'd go in and we'd see the event. And, but I wanted to stay there and watch these people to see if it was real. If they were really digging up real bones. And they were down there, and they kind of look at you like, get out of here, this is dangerous stuff. And I never knew that there was actually someone lurking
Underneath.
down there in the underneath.
Someone who didn't want to be found.
Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting, and Cinta, you can, as the newest member to the cast, who gets to report on the goings on. I'm just kind of curious. What did you think when you heard when you came in, auditioned, and heard about what was going on with this movie? And as a newer member to the Los Angeles family.
Well, I definitely was really excited to hear about this movie because, nowadays, I just like the idea. It was very original, and why not do a horror movie that really pertains to the city we live in? So I was excited, and I was excited to be the very type A reporter who reported on the Tar News because I just believe that everything that comes out of my mouth is the ultimate truth. And so get excited because it's going to be really scary. Believe me.
I thought she did great. I actually, it's my first time seeing that clip, and I thought that you did a great job there. I believed you.
Oh, thank you.
It was very good work. She has a wonderful physique. Wouldn't you agree, audience?
Yes.
Hear the applause?
Yes. Yeah, we need applause. Thank you.
Thank you, New Jersey.
So Stu, I want to ask you, as someone who just made he made 2 horror films, as I said, in our northern brother of Canada, sister of Canada, stepsister of Canada. What was it like doing this film, and then going off and doing your horror films? What were some of the differences and some of the similarities?
Well, I think that
There weren't as many whores on this film.
Thanks.
what he said. Sorry, the coming to work for you and doing this movie Tar, I guess the crew and the actors and everybody kind of had to work as a tight unit to make this thing happen. This wasn't necessarily like a $20 million movie. This was something that you had to actually be creative and use your resources to get the best possible film out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think watching you and your team in action kind of helped me to what I had to go through next. But it's really, really hard. As I said earlier, it's not easy to make a movie. I'm sure everyone in this room has an idea for a movie, right? You, sir, do you have an idea for a movie? You do, right? I mean, do you have an idea for a movie right here?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you have an idea.
You can't hear it online, but it's a resounding
No,
yes.
no, but he does. So I'm just saying. So it's just like the work that goes into it. You think that it's just when you watch the movie, you don't think about the fact that there's literally so many hours and so much time put into movies, even bad movies. It's crazy. But like I asked you earlier, you know, now that you've gotten through it, and now you're at this point, would you do something differently, or?
I call filmmaking, every film I've ever done, and this film in particular, instead of filmmaking, it could be called problem solving. Because as we're making a movie, we're solving problems constantly. We're figuring different things out. We're getting the cast together. Every day there were different problems. At night, a little inside scoop, the first night of shooting, outside the location that we were shooting at, we had an abandoned building that we were shooting at, and there was an actual shooting right outside in the parking lot. They had thrown a party, and there was a shooting. So that was an interesting way to start the shoot. And we had to call the cops. They came, they cleared it out, and we kept shooting. But
Did you use the actual like blood and stuff for your movie?
yeah, we used that person as an extra. So it's a fascinating process, and to be here right now, and I hope you know, you all enjoyed what we just put together, because it's liberating to be able to make something and not have. I worked at Warner Brothers for a while, and everyone's down your throat there to do this, do that. Everyone has an idea, and to be able to bring what was Tim and my idea to life, and to make it this amazing living, breathing thing with this amazing cast right here. Plus, we have 2 other Oscar nominees, Timothy Bottoms and Graham Greene, in the film.
And an amazing director.
Yes.
Who?
You.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
to, sorry.
No, go
Yeah, just to add on that, I mean, I had recently also done a feature film in Vancouver, Canada, also a horror, but what differentiates that from my experience filming this movie is, you know, Aaron really knows what he's doing. He's such a good director. He really gives you clear pointers, and you know, my character did not really get to encounter the monster, but he knew exactly what to say to me, to the point where I believed that something scary was going on.
Building suspense.
Yes,
He,
he
like,
really
built
knows how to build
suspense.
suspense. So I'm excited for you guys to see it, because you start believing what you say, and you really see the things around you, although they may not necessarily be there.
Yeah, you
I
did such a
appreciate
good job. When we became like a family. We were filming in this like building when they are building the subway on Wilshire for a month, and I would love going into your office with you, and you would like give us notes, and the way that direction would affect the performance of the other actors was just really cool, and it's like it's a good talent. Yeah.
Very George Lucas's. I've seen the making of Star Wars. You all know what I mean.
I love it. What was it like to direct a movie and act in the movie at the same time? I mean, that sounds like a lot of stress.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly narcissistic too.
Yes.
It was, you know, for me, it actually, in a lot of ways, it makes it easier, because I had an idea along with Tim. We had this idea of what we wanted, and I knew what the relationship I wanted to happen between the father and son. And once Timothy Bottoms came on board, and I knew he was playing my dad, which was great, because I like him. I've grown up watching his stuff. Once I knew he was my dad, I knew the relationship and the crux of this relationship that we wanted to create. And so it actually, in a way, made it easier. It's challenging because you have to turn off the director side and make sure you do the right performance, and then turn off the actor side and make sure that you're able to critique whether you suck or not in the take. And trust me, there were many takes where I sucked. So it was, it's really interesting to turn those 2 sides off, but I liked it was liberating to know what I wanted, and then to be able to get what I wanted.
And you're really good.
Aaron, you reminded me a lot of Clint Eastwood when he directed The Legend of Josie Wales. Because he just didn't give a freak. You know, and you gotta do that if you're performing in your own freak.
I appreciate that, Max. Since I was born, I've been compared to Clint Eastwood.
You have a strong resemblance, actually.
I know, yeah. We're both, as you
The
said,
height
we're
and the
both
width
Jewish.
and the length, actually.
Yeah, no, I've almost nothing in common with Clint Eastwood, but I appreciate that, because he's one of the best
Yes, sir.
directors of all time.
Well, I guess, Max, while we're talking to you here, you know, you've been on a lot of huge productions, obviously, some hugely successful films, and for you to kind of give back to guys like Aaron and you know, newer kind of directors? Like, what's that? Is that something that you like to do?
I absolutely like to work with new blood and people that have great ideas and have fresh energy, and Aaron is that. And so I had a great time working with all the cast and the crew, and there's a lot of skill sets that are being worked, and a lot of muscles that are different muscles that are being worked out on these sets in LA and all over the country. And so you get to learn a lot about, you know, what it takes to manipulate things physically instead of pressing a button and getting instant gratification. So it is a great learning experience being on a film like this because there's a lot of new energy.
That's great. And you got to work with like all these seasoned actors on this project. Was that easy to pull together, or?
You know, I've been fortunate. Up until this point, I've gotten a lot of awesome actors to rally behind a project that I'm doing that, again, doesn't have the budget that some of these bigger, you know, like Max worked on Cliffhanger, much bigger budget than this. And every actor I've worked with, I worked with an actor named Michael Gross a couple years ago, and one named Peter Rieger, two really seasoned, successful actors, and they taught me a lot. And then the same thing happened here. Once Timothy came on board, Graham came on board, Max came on board, I learned more, I feel, by like times 10 than what I'm teaching them or telling them. So it's a real learning experience. It's like a school for me of how to be better and how to learn, so that I can then transfer that on and have, you know, Cinta and Nicole say the things they said, which I appreciate. And it's really only because of what I've learned from the more seasoned people that I'm then able to pass that on to younger people.
Now, it's a horror movie. There's obviously people get killed in this movie, spoiler.
Yeah.
Is there more blood in the movie or more tar in the movie?
There's so much tar, and let me tell you, we all got tar on it, even
Really sticky stuff.
Cinta got a little bit.
I got a little bit of it too.
Yeah, a little bit. And everyone else, we got a lot of it. And I was, almost every day, my costume part of it was tar. I had tar on it.
The black tar?
The black sticky tar. And so there's more tar, there is blood. There's also funny stuff in the movie. It's got, I like to compare it to, did anyone see Arachnophobia?
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So instead of spiders, we've got tar.
Some arachnophobia fans here.
Yeah, it's in that vein. There's some funny stuff.
Well, in this sense, arachnophobia is an interesting point, because you can't really fake, you can try to fake spiders, but if you want to show real spiders, you got to use real spiders. If you want to have a movie about tar, you got to use real tar, you know?
And it's uncomfortable. I'll tell you this. I recommend to all you guys and everyone watching, don't step in tar. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't come off in the shower. Oh, there's a little funny story. I was, after one of the days of shooting, I was going to the market to get food. We were shooting nights, so I was shooting real late. Went to the market to go get food. And I was checking out with my salad or whatever I had. And the checkout lady goes, "Excuse me, sir, are you okay?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, what's behind your ear? What's behind?" And I looked, and there was a giant glob of tar still behind my ear.
Tar.
And so I looked at her, and I just said, "Thank you, have a nice day." Because I had nothing else to say. What are you going to say? Start explaining they were making this movie about tar, and there's tar in my ear. So that was a little, moral of the story, don't get tar on you.
It reminds me of that scene from There's Something About Mary.
Just like that. It's a similar.
That was white tar.
White tar.
Sorry, inappropriate.
Speaking of protein, on the set, when you're putting together, you know, long days and long shoots, you got to feed the crew and the cast. You know, what was the food like on the set for this movie? I'm always curious to know, because when I was there, he gave us Lunchables. So I want to know.
I just made fun of Aaron a lot because he can't eat certain things, and I love meat, so I was eating a lot of red meat, which he was jealous about. So we had like lots of tacos and vegetables and proteins. I don't know what you guys had, but we were pretty well fed. Okay, Max looks like he's freaking out. What's wrong? Were you not fed?
No, they just had a lot of shellfish, and I'm a self-hating Jew. I couldn't eat any of the stuff.
You got the crab or something? Like, well,
No, they weren't trained. The crabs, I got those in Cuba. No, the food was good. They don't have a really good pomodoro sauce. That's the only thing.
I feel like we had good food.
But like when you have you know, actors on the set and the crew working, you know, they say that you know, if you feed the crew and you have good snacks, everyone's going to work a little bit harder. Was that one of the?
Yes, the more people eat, the more people work hard. And I would say everyone here from Stu, Nicole, Max, Cinta, everyone seemed like they ate well on the
No,
set.
they
and
had us
therefore the
catered.
tar-
They asked us what we wanted, and they got us. They went out of their way to make us feel comfortable. And when you work, you just want to be regular. You want to be able to be ready and bring what you have to the table.
Can I ask a question right now to all you guys? Now this film's about to come out. Tar is going to be out in either April or June in the theaters. I hope you all see it. And so, what are you guys all, or how are you guys all feeling, and what are you most looking forward to?
Ladies first.
You've been on the project for longer.
Well, you know, I just want to be able to see something that pertains to how I grew up. I have a personal relationship with the film because I grew up in LA in the late mid-70s. I moved here to Cleveland, and going to the tar pits was a really big thing for us because they had like Busch Gardens, Magic Mountain, and Disneyland. But in between there wasn't too much stuff. So the La Brea Tar Pits was almost like a theme park, but it was with dinosaurs. And they were just stuck in there, so you felt bad. It's kind of depressing.
It's so sad. You walk into the La Brea Tar Pits and there's like a baby mammoth stuck in the tar. And it's like,
And it's bubbly, and you
and
can
like the
smell it.
mom is like trying to get it out. It's like the most depressing
You're like, Mom, what
thing
happened?
I've ever seen.
And your mom's like, they just got stuck, honey. You know, read your history. It was a dire man Frank, and right in between Martin Luther King. It's right there, the dinosaurs.
So, Cinta, why don't you chime in too? What, as the newest member?
First of all, I'm really excited about this movie because, you know, I'm not from LA. I've only been living here for the past 2 years, so I'm excited to see a
Where are you
horror
from?
movie. I grew up in 6 different countries, so it's hard to say where I'm from, but I'm half Indonesian, half German, so a lot of explaining to do. But now I'm in
You have a
LA.
wonderful physique, by the way.
All right, thank you. But thank you very much. He's been so nice to me. But what was I gonna say? You know, I'm excited to see a horror movie that's, you know, going back to the more wholesome days. It's not all about, I don't know, robots and CGI and whatnot, but something more wholesome, something that, you know, I guess the type of horror movies we grew up watching. So I'm
Actually,
excited
I gotta say, what you just said is, and I hope you guys think this. I am tired of everything being CG and the monster and everything being CG, right?
All
Aren't
the
we
sex,
tired
I'm
of this?
tired of it.
So we don't have that with Tar. We have practical effects. Everything that happens really happened. People really fake died in this movie.
And practical effects, if you're not familiar with the term, you have special effects, and you have a practical effect, which is something that's done without any kind of apparatus, it's just a light effect or a camera effect that's done in real time. And they move something in front of the light and it creates a special effect, but it's not done with any computers. That's what the term means.
And that's what we've got with this movie. Just like the classics like Arachnophobia, Jaws, we went back to that way of making movies, which I'm excited about.
Well,
Exactly.
Jaws, to be fair, that's not a good example.
Blade Runner was
That's
the
a-
last film to use
that's a
all
terrible
of the
example.
practical effects.
Like the name of my Wi-Fi network.
He didn't use a real shark, but he used a real fake shark.
Yeah. But I guess to sum that up, I'm just really excited to see how that translates next year, and I hope that, you know, the younger generation can appreciate all the real effects that don't involve CGI, because I think it's going to be great.
You
So,
feel
yeah.
more like you're a part of it, like you're in it. You know what I mean? Like I've worked in front of green screens and stuff, like for Guardians of the Galaxy. Literally, like me and Stanley in front of a 60-foot green screen, and you can try to imagine everything. And it's fun to do that, but to actually have something stalking you on a set and
that was
goo
just Max.
everywhere, it's so. Your heartbeat is like racing while you're doing these takes, and it's just so exciting. And the way your style of directing in a weird way,
So-
you kind of remind me of it's like the Goonies to me.
So Nicole, we have 5 minutes left. Everybody, if you have some questions, we would be happy to answer them from the audience. We got about a couple minutes left.
Yeah, and Stu, what were you saying?
Yeah, actually, they're wrapping this up. So, all the people who are watching right now on the web, Tar is coming out in 2017. All the people who are sitting in here right now, thank you so much for being a part of
Thank you.
Tar, the launch. And it comes out in 2017. And Aaron, I guess we'll let you sign this off. Tell everybody what they need to know about Tar.
Yeah, the main things about Tar. As you saw the teaser, which then you can follow along on Tar the Movie. That's the hashtag or the @ on all the different social medias. I'm at the Aaron Wolf on social media, and I keep updating about it as new things come out about the release, which is again either going to be in April or June in theaters, which also is a rarity in these days. So I hope you all check it out. I really, really believe in this film. I think it's awesome, and I'm really fortunate to have all these people a part of the movie, which is what makes a movie great, is to have an awesome cast and really talented actors. So please check it out, and it's going to be quite a thrill ride.
Thanks, guys, everybody.
And we can answer questions and stuff too.